What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and I am here with the review for The Haves and the Have-Nots. This is season 8, episode number 3. It is time for me to shave, but that's not the name of the episode. The episode is titled The Long Drive Home. And you guys, without further ado, let's jump into this episode, shall we? It wasn't the best, but there was one scene that I loved. All right, you guys. So I am actually going to go out of order. I'm going to save the best for last. So we see, let's see, where do I want to start at? Let's start with Celine and that rude ass fucking Veronica. Veronica, God. Oh, she's such a rude ass heifer. Actually, no, I'm going to call her what she is, a rude ass bitch. So Celine goes over to Veronica's house knocking on the door. So Veronica's rude ass opens the fucking door and Celine just walked her ass in there. When Veronica told her that, you know, this is not the Mexico border, you just don't cross, you can't cross this, you have to cross with permission. I was like, oh my God. Are you? And then she had Celine walk back out the door, knock again. So Celine knocked on the door. She opened the door for Celine. Celine walked in. She said, bitch, I didn't invite you in. Try it again. And Celine did it again. I'm like, Celine, you better than me. I would have told Veronica, you know what, girlfriend? Fuck you. Like, I would have told her, fuck you. But Celine went ahead and did what she wanted her to do. I'm like, damn, Veronica, you ain't no better than Jim. You just as racist as he is and ignorant as fuck. So Celine tells Veronica that, you know, David and Jim are trying to get her fired from the hospital. And then she sit here and asks this woman, do you enjoy cleaning up shit? If you enjoy cleaning up shit that much, I'll talk to him. I'll tell them that I'm representing you and it'll cease. I'm like, Veronica, I don't think this woman enjoys cleaning up shit. That is literally probably the only thing a woman is qualified to do, which really is sad to say the least. Really sad. But I mean, just rude as fuck. So then, you know, Veronica also says to Celine that, you know, she'll need a good housekeeper, a good maid. She's like, and Celine's like, don't you already have one? But she says, you know what, Veronica, if you were able to take care of this gym situation, hell, I'll work for you for free. And Veronica's like, huh, I'll remember that. And then Celine says something to her in Spanish. I think she said that you're the daughter of a bitch. And it was something else she said. I didn't read the whole subtitles. And then the fact when Veronica sat there and talked, when she was speaking in Spanish, I'm like, Veronica, she's so rude and ignorant. Veronica could have just said, hey, Celine, I mean, I don't speak Spanish, so can you translate that for? I mean, there are different ways that Veronica could have said something to her. Or you know what, I would have let Celine speak in Spanish. I'm like, when she said it in Spanish, I'm like, okay. I'm not trying to be rude, but I need the English interpretation of what you just said so I can know how to help you. Just saying. But there are different ways than what Veronica's rude ass did. Let's move on. All right, you guys, I'm gonna group together some people that I couldn't have gave one fuck, 2 dams, or 3 shits about. That's gonna be Wyatt and that's gonna be Sandy. So we're gonna talk about them in one clean swoop. So Wyatt, you guys know he's in a hospital after Vinny split his fucking wrist. So his doctor comes in. And Wyatt has been an asshole just like his dad. I'm like, the apple does not fall far from the tree when it comes to Wyatt and, you know, Jim. So he, like I said, he's just rude as shit to her. So, you know, he asked her for some drugs. She says, you're a drug addict, so it's not going to happen. So she asked him what happened. He said a bear attack. I'm like, a bear attack? That's the best you could come up with. A bear attack. Okay, Wyatt, you're not in the mountains. You're in Savannah, Georgia. Where the fuck is a bear coming from? But okay, Wyatt, you just want to be an asshole. So then she tells Wyatt that someone's going to be coming into his room to see him later. He says, unless she got big tits and a tray of Coke, it's a no. I was like, okay. Do you really think they're gonna give you cocaine in the hospital? No. Only time they give somebody cocaine is if it's only time I saw it is an infant. When, if an infant is born addicted to, alcohol or drugs, they give them small doses so that they can wean them off of it. But the fact that he just asked for some cocaine in the hospital came with him. But she tells him that she's his therapist. It's something off with that woman. I can't put my finger on it. Because then, she asked him what was his pain level. He's still being this asshole. She says, well, if you tell me that if you're in pain, then I can see to it that you stay in this hospital and not go back to your jail cell. He says, well, I'm in high pain. I'm like, oh God, Wyatt. Will somebody just kill him and Jim at the same time? So then, she tries to make a deal with Wyatt. She says, I'll let you stay. You can stay here in this hospital. You won't have to go back to your cell as long as you talk to me. Is that a deal? So he made a deal with the woman. I said, ugh. Then let's talk about Sandy. Let's wrap Sandy up real quick. Sandy goes to his ex's office. I thought they said in my closed captioning, it said her name is Rihanna. I'm like, Rihanna, not Robin Rihanna Fenty. I know you ain't trying to name her after my girl, but whatever. Just a joke, you guys. The funny thing about Sandy is, you guys, I was looking at Sandy this whole episode. I'm like, wow, you can bark at a woman because he's in Rihanna's office. He's telling her, he's keeping tabs on her, but he doesn't know where she lives. She keeps changing jobs. She keeps moving. I'm like, girl, you got that kind of money to keep moving? That's a hell of an expense. And, she's telling him, like, Sandy, we're not together anymore. He says, yes, we are. She says, no, we're not. So then someone, I guess the owner of the, what is it? The realtor, she's a realtor. So I guess the owner of that branch came in there. He called the woman a bitch. I'm like, oh, so you can bark at a woman. But when it came to, Uncle Vinny and Wyatt, you were a complete coward. What a weak ass man. Like, you know what? Like I said to Courtney Kemp, I'm going to say this to Tyler Perry. Mr. Perry, write me into one scene. Give me a gun. Make sure that gun has, how many bullets do I need in that gun? How many bullets do I need? I need 4. Nope, 5. Nope, 6. We need 6. Because I got 6 people that I want to take out. I want to take out Tanner, Veronica, David, Jim, and Wyatt. And there was somebody else that I'm thinking of that I just forgot. Oh, and Sandy. 6 bullets for those 6 people. Just write me in a scene. Have them all in the same area. I shoot Wyatt in the head. Shoot Jim in the chest. Oh, I hope it pierces his heart. Who else was it? Who else did I say? Wyatt, Jim, Veronica. Actually, Veronica, give me a knife so I can just slit the bitch's throat. That would be easy. David, I just want him to bleed out slowly. So what could make him bleed out slowly? These are jokes, by the way, you guys. Jokes. David, no, give me a gun so I can just blow his brains out. Sandy, I don't want to shoot him between the eyes. Yep, I just want to shoot Sandy between the eyes. I think I'm missing somebody. David, Veronica, Jim and Wyatt, Sandy, and who the fuck? Oh, and Tanner. Tanner. Actually, with Tanner, give me a separate gun that has just 7 bullets in it. Actually, give me a machine gun, and that'll just take out Tanner. So that's all I need. That's all I need, Mr. Perry. Give me that. Let's move on, you guys. All right, guys, let's talk about Benny real quick. Now, when I first saw Benny, he went to Rihanna's office and he's talking to her. And, he's being a nice person. He's, asking Rihanna, is she okay? She said, yes, she's okay. But clearly she wasn't okay with dealing with the loser that she was once dating. So, she asked him, did he have a chance to look at, I guess she gave him some, some photos or whatever to look at. He said, yes, he looked at it. He picked out what he wants. She says, okay, so when do you want to look at, some of the property? He says, whenever it's convenient for you. She says, okay, so what I'll do is I'll reach out. I'll see when, I'll reach out to one of the contractors, see when I can get you in, and we'll go from there. So then she thanks him. She says, thank you once again. He says, oh, you don't have to thank me. He said something to her. She says, I'm thanking you for, being concerned about me, but also something else. I wasn't really listening, to be quite honest with you. But she thanked him once again mostly for being concerned about him. So yeah, they're gonna set up the viewing. So then we see Benny. So Benny goes back to the room where Candace is. So he wants to talk to Candace. He actually tells Candace they're getting ready to check out. She's like, we got one more day here. He says, at this point, Benny was being a complete asshole. So he wants to talk to Candace about Derek. She says, I don't want to talk about it. He says, so you don't want to know anything about him? She says, no. She says, I know the most important thing, how I was conceived, which I'm with Candace. Why would I want to know anything about this man? He raped Hannah. They created her. Like, I don't want to have anything to do with someone that violated her. The fuck? I don't want to talk about it. So then, while they're talking, he asked Candace, did she take the pregnancy test? She says no, she didn't take the pregnancy test. And then, she has his phone and she noticed the pictures of Rihanna on there. He's so cocky, talking about if I want to hit, I could do that. Really, Benny? Whatever. So then, so Benny is gonna take Candace out to lunch. And there's a knock at the door. So Benny goes to the door and it's Mitch there. So he's pretending like he's mad at Mitch because Candace's like, he's just still pretending like he's still mad at us. So then he's talking about the fact that, Hannah and Candace didn't want to tell him who Derek was. That has nothing, I mean, I get part of him, how he feels that's his mama. But if she's able to let it go, try to move forward from it, Benny, move forward. Like, stop harping on it. If your mama's not harping on it, you don't harp on it. She's the one that was violated, not you. I get that that's your mama, you want to protect her. I get that. But let it the fuck go. So when Benny goes to take a shower, Mitch and Candace talk. He was asking her, is she okay? It was with Mitch and Candace situation in that scene. It was just a whole back and forth, and it was the same thing. It was repetitive. You okay? I'm fine. Are you sure you're okay? I'm fine. Are you sure you're okay? I'm fine. Are you sure? You're sure you're fine. Basically, that's how it was. Let's move on. All right, you guys. Now, before I get to the best part of the episode for me, let's talk about Catherine and Marty. So, you guys know Catherine is still in jail. Marty went down to the jail to talk to Catherine, and Catherine was like, so when am I getting out of here? Marty's like, shit, you ain't getting out of here no time soon. She's like, what do you mean I'm not getting out of here? He says, you're probably going to be in here until the trial. She says, trial? When is that? He says, about 2 months. So then Catherine's like, well, you're fired, Marty. I'm like, are you sure you want to do that, Catherine? Who else are you going to hire? And Marty asked her the same question. Are you sure you want to do that? Because at this point, I'm the only person that's on your side. She was like, well, if I fire you, I'll hire the best attorney in town. Me and Marty both looking like, I know you're not talking about who you... I think me and Marty actually said at the same time, you're not talking about Veronica Harrington, are you? She says, yes. I'm like, really? Really? The same Veronica Harrington that you were trying to say killed Jennifer Salisbury Steak. The same Veronica that you had her in your house when you killed Jennifer. That Veronica? Okay. The same Veronica that you struck fear, you trying to strike fear in that woman, which I think she did. But this is the same Veronica we talking about. The one that you're trying to say killed Jennifer, the one that you shot Jennifer in front of. Okay. So Marty, it tells her, you might not want to do this. She was like, why? Because he says the DA is going to call her as a witness. Yep. even if they were calling her as a witness, I still was like, I don't know if you want to call Veronica. That's the last person you might want to call. I would rather call David or Jim. At least with them, well, I wouldn't call anybody. Stick with Marty, but Marty convinces her to let him stay on. So then let's move back over to Veronica real quick and close out their segment. So the mercenary guy, he went to Veronica's house. He told Veronica that she is still being followed. So then she asked him, so does the guy know the difference? He didn't, he said, yeah. I don't think he know what she, I mean, well, he doesn't know what she means. But I mean, you have a very, he told her, but he did say that you have a very distinct look. I wonder what he meant by a very distinct look. Terrible wig? Because I mean, the wig in that scene that she had on was terrible. Terrible. It looked about as bad as that wig she used to wear in season 1. Now that wig that she wore in season 1, that wig really aged her. Because the wig that she wore in season 1, I would have thought she was at least in her 60s or 70s. So then she asked him, did he find out any information about Colby? Here she go once again. Now he was saying it kind of weird. He said the way he was saying escort was really weird, but I mean, she knew exactly what the fuck he was saying because she kept making him repeat it. But he told her that he was an escort. So she says, what information do you have on him? Like, how does he, get his clients or whatever? So he gave her a file with his information. So then she also tells him that, she wants to, him to look into Tanner because she wants to see him by the end of the day. And then, she asked him at one point, was he flirting with her? He said, I was. And she had the audacity, this hot in the puss heifer had the audacity to tell him that she wants his blood work. I was like, wait a minute. You want his blood work. He should want your blood work. You are for everybody. How many people? Oh my God. And it ain't even been a week. How many men have you slept with? Nasty ass. Just nasty. Yeah, buddy. I hope you have on a condom and make her put on a vaginal condom as well. Like, ugh. Veronica, you asking him for his blood work, he should ask for yours. Because you have been ran through at this point. Just saying. Let's move on and close out the episode, you guys. All right, you guys. Now, for the best part of the episode, David, Hannah, and Jim. Whoo, this was the best part of the episode for me. So you guys remember last week's episode, Jim came in the room. He saw Hannah there. So he asked Hannah what was she doing there. And at this point, Jim was being a complete asshole to Hannah. And he called her a bitch. She said, call me another bitch. He called her another bitch. So she had the fireplace poker ready to whoop his ass. I'm like, Hannah, you should have whooped his ass after the first bitch. You should have hit him after that first bitch that he called you. So David is actually being calm. And actually, Hannah was going to talk to David until Jim called her that second bitch. So Hannah's like, you know what? She packed up all her shit and she was leaving. And Jim was, going off on David. So David was like, you stay here. I'm going to deal with her. I'll go downstairs. So David followed Hannah downstairs. So David asked Hannah, for the papers that she has. She says, no, I'm not giving it to you. He says, well, what are you doing with them, Hannah? So she was like, tell him to ask his wife. So, where am I at? So yeah, David tells her, he'll take the papers, but he'll also talk to Catherine and tell Catherine the way she's, how she's doing, and she'll be fired. I'm like, little do you know, she really won't be fired. So, she tells him, okay, come on, try to take it from me. So David, he tries to take it from her. Hannah got a statue in her hand. She's like, come on, David. And she just whopped his ass, popped his ass. I'm like, yes, Hannah. But about time somebody went upside his head. So Jim is upstairs. Now, mind you, before David went downstairs with Jim, David barely even touched Jim, and on my arm, I'm just like, really, Dave, really, Jim, it's a flesh wound. And then the fact that he's sitting there talking about he can't make it down, because, you know, when when Hannah and David was going at it, Jim was upstairs, and he talking about he can't come down the stairs. And then he asked him, did she hit you? He said, yes, she hit me. I'm bleeding. And Hannah said, I don't care. And I'm with Hannah. I don't care. So Jim does come downstairs, and now at this point, they're going to call the cops. And Hannah's like, okay, that's fine. I'm going to stay here. I don't care. And then at this point, Jim is like really taunting. He's fucking with Hannah. And I was looking at him like, because he kept calling her out of her name. He kept calling her a bitch, the maid. He called her everything but what I felt like he really wanted to call her, a nigger. Like, I felt like Jim in that instance just wanted to call her a nigger. I even tweeted that. Like, he might as well just call her what he wants to call her. And then David, like, dude, you really looking like the, yes, master, what can I do for you, master? Like, you looking like the Uncle Tom type nigga. And, so, like I said, Hannah, they called the police. So Jim is sitting there, and he's taunting Hannah. Basically, he's telling Hannah she ain't shit, she don't know shit. Like, because he asked her, do you know what a P&L is? She's like, she's just sitting there looking, not paying him any attention, and she's just writing. But then, the creme de la creme happened when Hannah just schooled his ass, letting him know she knew everything. And all Jim could do was just sit back. I'm like, she put you on hush. And so then Jim started talking about his money, about the fact that Candace took the money. And, you know, he was like, I know she didn't get, because she was like, you're going to jail. You can't get out, can you? She's like, I'm fine. He was like, well, your daughter hates you. She's like, well, your son hates you, and he shot you right here in this room. So then he starts talking about the fact that he'll kill her, he'll kill Candace, and he'll kill Benny if he don't get his money back. And like I said once before, the way he was talking to her, like I said, the way he was talking to Hannah, he might as well just said what he wants. It just felt like he wanted to call her a nigger. Like, that was the vibe I got from David. It just felt like he just wanted to say nigger so badly. It just felt like it just wanted to slide off of his tongue. And David had to check him and like you are on the verge of being very racist. I'm like, on the verge? He's already there. Like, he is racist. And Jim's like, I'm not a racist I don't have a racist. Did he say, babe? Sound like you know who. But yeah, I was really just looking at David. And then when he said y'all, I'm like, David, like he's messing with you. Like, you don't see this. Like, David is an idiot through and through. Like, he is just a fucking idiot. So then the officer shows up, and David tells her to arrest Hannah. So she's like, ma'am, did you hit him? She was like, yeah, I hit him. She's like, well, ma'am, you're under arrest. She said, but did he tell you that he put his hands on me after I asked him not to, and that's why I hit him? So she was looking at him like, but he said, that's not what it is. The papers that you have, I need those. She's like, well, ma'am, are those his papers? She says, no, they're not. And then Hannah went on and dropped another bomb on their ass that she is the executor of the estate. And Jim's face, when I tell you, Jim's face just fell and cracked like Humpty Dumpty. He couldn't do shit. That was a highlighted episode for me. Just seeing Hannah just throw one jab at Jim, 2 jabs at Jim, and 3 jabs to Jim in the face of David. It was amazing to me, you guys. But that was the episode, you guys. Let me know what you thought about the episode in the comment section below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification button so you guys are aware of when I drop anything else. Share this video, and until the next one, you guys, do me a solid favor out there. Stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Wear your mask. And socially distance. And until the next one, you guys, I'll see you guys later. Bye. Ask sure to be tomorrow for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.